Follow me for this episode of Shop Tours.
Okay.
Not working today because it's raining, and my content manager wants to be sure that she doesn't have to work on Valentine's Day. Okay, we're going to take you through some of the trucks and equipment that we have at the shop here. We obviously don't have everything here. Some of the stuff's still on the jobs, but we'll start with our trucks. So this is our KUV truck. Obviously, it used to be an ambulance. The construction guys use this thing now. Let's see if it's open. All right, so we got this thing set up basically so the construction guys can go out and kind of have everything in one place. It's super convenient because you can pack tons of tools in here. You can put large table saws and stuff in here, but at the same time, you can't haul a bunch of material with this. But we bought this during the storm. We actually didn't have a construction crew at that point. We put the construction crew back together to help rebuild some of the properties. But got this thing set up to be able to haul a trailer for them to be able to haul their own materials and stuff. They've got all their DeWalt pack out stuff in there, some hand tools for post holes and stuff like that, some roofing stuff to temporary patch in roofs. Pretty cool with all this locked up. I don't necessarily have a brand preference, but it's easier for us to just have everything the same so we can share batteries. I'm not sure why I was asked to buy a brand new skill saw the other day if there's two in here. But all the trucks have grease guns, drills, sawzalls, and it's just easier to have all the same product. All right, moving on to our 450 gasser. We bought this the same time as this truck from a local dealership. These trucks we haven't actually like completely set up like we normally do yet, just because since the storm, we bought these during Hurricane Helene. Since then, we've just been running 200 miles per hour to try to take care of everything that we can possibly take care of. But we always set these up with a 100-gallon fuel cell, fill-right pumps, air compressors on the side so we can blow out filters on the equipment and stuff. These are grading specific trucks. That's the construction truck. Hose rails so we can get over to the equipment without having to get the truck right in the mud. And typically we have a 50-foot diesel hose rail as well, so we can get over to the equipment without having to get right on top of it. This truck has absolutely no fucking hand tools on it because obviously nobody does their checklist on this truck. Each day before these trucks head out, we have a full checklist that needs to be checked off on all the tools that are supposed to be on this truck. So when we get to the job and we have multiple guys in the truck on the way to the job, they get there, they have everything they need. No one's having to run back to the shop or run to town to get something. That obviously hasn't been done. Hey, where's the Dodge at? Today? All right, well, this is our super old log truck, but old and faithful. Got a 454 gas motor in it. Pretty badass little truck with a granny low speed in it. A lot of job sites we've got this thing on that are just crazy terrain that you guys always see that we're working on. It's two-wheel drive and always gets in and out pretty doggone easy. This is a 350 truck we bought a couple weeks ago actually. 6.0 diesel motor in this. Same thing, it's not set up like it needs to be set up yet. We just threw a fuel cell in it real quick for the guys. It doesn't even have an air compressor and stuff on it like it should. We had converted all back to gas trucks, single cab trucks last year before the storm, and now with more staff we need 4-door trucks, so that's what we're trying to convert back to. This is our bucket truck. You guys seen it a lot during the storm first couple weeks, taking a bunch of trees off houses and stuff like that. We had this and several other pieces of equipment we bought several years ago when we bought another tree service out that was over near Johnson City, Tennessee. We bought the entire business and all the equipment. This was one of the pieces that came with it. At that time we were running a tree service full-time then. We don't really advertise for trees and stuff anymore, but we still get a lot of tree calls, and this thing is super, super handy when you need it. Extremely weak truck though. It will get itself to the job, but designed to pull a chipper and blow chips into, but it really can't handle it well. This is our old race trailer that we used to race moto out of. I've bought and sold this trailer 4 times now actually, and during the storm we needed something to hold all the supplies, chainsaws, stuff like that, and know it was safe. So I bought it back, actually, used it a bunch, then bought these trucks, put stuff in these trucks, so it's just been sitting empty. If you guys got a good idea what we should do with this thing, let us know. We're thinking about trying to make like a crash unit for when other storms come in, we go out, we've got everything in this. We may convert it to the construction trailer and move everything out of that KUV truck and use that for trees. We're not sure yet. The boat is Legend's boat. It's not ours. He, I don't know, made some deal. Somehow everybody else's shit always just ends up at my shop. He had it tore down inside the shop for weeks and didn't do nothing with it, so I just asked him to move it outside. And well, you guys keep up to date. We'll keep you up to date how long this thing sits here and nothing happens with it. Our second boat, actually, is back here. Funny story with this boat. When we first started doing some tree stuff, that boat may or may not have been used to do some lake removals. So when trees fell in the lake, you're actually supposed to have to work off of a barge. I'm not saying that it was ever used for that, but I don't know, we ended up with the boat somehow and did some stuff with it. That boat actually, during a couple times out, has developed several holes in the bottom of it and would fill faster than you could actually get the water back out of. So the boat's a piece of crap now. We sold the motor and trailer, and it needs to just be thrown away. We just bought this trailer a couple weeks ago to be able to move some of the new equipment around. It's a tri-axle trailer, 30-ton trailer that we can move multiple machines on, or some of our new larger machines on at a time. This is another one of the pieces of equipment we bought with the tree service several years ago. Single axle truck was hooked to a reed trailer. I don't know where that's at. Anyways, truck, trailer, and excavator was all one piece with the bucket truck. And the chip truck, which is over in the shop, we'll go over that in a minute. We bought all that together. That truck we have used literally on a daily basis almost for 5 years now, I guess, and have had to do almost nothing to. 8.3 motor in it, great machine. A couple log trailers we've got here. We actually did a huge renovation of the Apple Valley golf course in Lake Lure a couple years ago. Cut thousands of trees off of that golf course and had to haul all the trees out. So we bought those log trailers on a great deal at the time, and haven't ever had a project we needed them for since, or could get them in. Most of the projects we work are on the side of a mountain and very difficult. That's why we have the small single axle log truck to be able to get in and out with. This is our old tilt deck 18-ton trailer. We've really kind of outgrown it. It's had the crap beat out of it for a very long time. It needs to find a new home and be replaced at some point soon. And we'll probably replace that with actually a smaller trailer since we have the new 30-ton there. This is just a truck that we use on site. It's not really roadworthy. Great Cummins motor truck, but lots of stuff needed to be done if we want to make it roadworthy. We just use it on sites where we're moving dirt on site and don't want to use the on-road trucks and beat them up. There's the red reed trailer that was hooked to the single axle when we first bought that several years ago. We use it now to move the smaller machines, the skid steers, mini excavators, stuff like that behind the smaller pickup trucks. Right now it currently has a wheel bearing out that the mechanic needs to replace when he gets some free time. The old John Deere 210 that's famous in all of our videos because James River has screwed us on multiple times and we've had to repair ourselves. It's pretty much just a yard dog now. It needs some undercarriage before it goes back out, but as you see, it works almost every day here in the stump dump, trying to keep it under control. It is wildly out of control right now because so many contractors are bringing us debris. We're waiting for John Daniels at Carolina Grading to get freed up to be able to come back and grind some more for us. We've got a mountain of mulch over on that side that we use to put in erosion control for ourselves. We got some mulch here in a bin that, you know, folks will come in and get to do erosion control for themselves. We have our station here that we kind of got set up for firewood. So a lot of days when you know, we have extra labor or it's raining and we can't go out to the sites, as good oak wood comes into the stump dump, we kind of separate it, bring it down here, and we work it all up, sell the firewood during the winter time. These machines are just kind of set here because we just brought them in during the last couple days of rain. They're going to be washed over here, serviced, and then be ready to go back out. We've got the 50G here that we've had for a couple years. It's actually took a pretty gnarly beating during the last several weeks on some of these jobs that we're working on. So it needs a lot of service. About ready for some tracks on that. We've got this more bark chipper we just purchased a couple weeks ago from our friends over at CCG. They're a finance company, and unfortunately when some folks maybe get behind on payments, they will buy the stuff back and then list it for a great deal. This is actually not our machine yet. It's a CAT demo that we have. It's a 255. This is the new series of CAT. Previously they had the 269, 289, and 299, I believe. They are now going to a 255, 265, and 275, which would the 275 replace the 299. We wanted to try this smaller machine, the 255, out before we buy something. They sent it to us. We've used it for a week now. I think we're going to try the 265 before we make a buying decision. This thing, probably for landscapers, is a really good machine, I believe. But for us, where we're moving bulk dirt, we want to try the 265 out and see what the power difference of it is. Don't think we want something as big as like what we had before with the 333 skid steer, where it's very, very big and it's very tight to get into a lot of job sites. Really, at that point, we would just bring our dozer, which isn't here. It's still on a job site. This is the new CAT 317 we bought a couple months ago. It replaced our 130 size machine. It's a little bit larger than the 130. It's about 40,000 pounds. We just brought it back off the slope stabilization job. We are going to replace some of the lines that are on it now that go to a quick coupler attachment that we do not have. We try to keep these machines as simple as possible, and like an idiot, we had the machine loaded on the black trailer, went through a very low bridge and hit the top of the boom just enough to mess those lines up a little bit. They don't really serve a purpose right now, so we're just going to take them off, remove them. We got a little bit of a repair to make at the very top up there. That was on a Sunday, and thankfully Dylan Connor just got set up to make hydraulic hoses, and he came out on a Sunday, made us some new hoses so we could get the machine to the site and get it ready to work. We've got it back here. We're gonna get it serviced, get it cleaned up, get these tracks cleaned out, and it's got to go to the West Jefferson site on Monday. So we just actually built this pole barn here to cover up our fuel tanks, and we, in the last couple weeks, have set up both a mobile weld rig and pressure wash rigs so that if stuff breaks in the field, we can just hook to a trailer, bring it out. We don't have to keep this stuff on a truck at all times in the weather when it doesn't get used very often. So we've got both of those setups. We're actually utilizing the mobile pressure wash setup right now on cleaning stuff here because the stationary setup, the hot side of the pressure washer has been messed up for some time. We also wanted to protect all of our fuel tanks. We have gas on-road and off-road fuel here. And you know, we've got fuel reels, lines, if they're all exposed to the elements, they get brittle and break down and start leaking. So we just built the cover to make sure all that stayed protected. We've got the old Chevy 2500 truck that just runs materials during the day, with several crews out, the construction crew, the grading crews, tree crew. There's always someone needing something, so Nick runs materials to those guys so they can just keep working on the job. We've got the new Kenworth T880 truck that we just bought a couple weeks ago. We've got some service stuff that it needs. It's roughly a 580,000 mile truck. I think was neglected for most of its life. It lived at the beach and looked very rough when we bought it. Trying to get it cleaned up. Caleb McLaughlin just came and polished all the aluminum on it for us and really made a huge difference. And then its first load out was sunk in the mud. So we are trying to get it cleaned back up. Got some service we need to do to it, and got to put a relief valve because the brakes are leaking on it. Oh, so buying the 308, which isn't here, it came with a 24-inch bucket, and we just bought an 18-inch bucket to do septic work with it. So the 24 was just delivered. We gotta throw the pins in it, and we'll set it over with all of our other attachments so it's ready to go when we need it. Once the 18 is delivered, we'll do the same thing. And on that machine, it's pretty tippy if you have the bucket out in front of you, so we ordered a new counterweight, larger counterweight, another 800 pounds, so that 308 isn't as front heavy. So this is the shop where Adrian works, tries to keep everything together here. We put a lift in this a couple months back. We ordered this thing off Temu. We've used it several times to lift almost every one of these trucks now to service, and fraction of the cost of local lifts, and Works really, really great. We got the chip chuck pulled in right now because we try to be very deliberate to make sure none of the trucks have any leaks at all. Big, small, anywhere in between. If we are pulling up in, you know, nice communities, concrete driveways, we don't want to be leaking anything, and this truck has developed a few small leaks. We are trying to take care of those. We pressure washed everything really well. It had a power steering leak, and now we've found it's got a valve cover leak we're gonna fix. It's an older truck, a lot of time on it. So the door bushings were worn out, just replaced those. The bed is getting pretty beat, so we've got Dustin over at Odd Jobs Welding. He's gonna come in and completely remove all the sides off of that and replace all the sides and the barn doors on the back so we can continue to haul brush with that. For years that was set up just to haul chips in with our tree business, but you know, again, with this change with the storm, we're hauling a lot of brush in that truck, and it doesn't have anything to hold the top and the rear, so we're redesigning all that. Dustin also just put the hitch on our new Kenworth truck. It didn't come with anything. He put the 3/4 inch plate steel on there and put the hitch on and stuff for us so we can move equipment around. He's done a great job on that, and we look forward to seeing what he's going to do on the chip truck. Our buddy Clint at Peregrine Construction had some hardwood flooring dropped off here, keep it stored in the drive for him. He's doing a project really close to here, so we're just storing this for him, and when he's ready, we're gonna bring it down there to him. This is a half pallet of bentonite that we got for the pond project that you guys might have seen a couple months ago that had the crappie fish that were coming up. We have already put a half a pallet down in there, put a bunch of lime in there. The soil there is just very, very saturated. To move forward with that project, we're gonna have to bring an excavator in, pull out a couple feet of wet, nasty soil, place to the side, haul off. Almost impossible to do without tearing this guy's immaculate landscape yard up. So he's just made the decision to actually abandon the pond at this point. So we're gonna bring the dozer and probably the 317 back out there, put the yard back as it was, and seed and straw it. And so got a half a pallet of bentonite if anyone needs their pond betonated. So this is kind of our old-fashioned way of keeping up with all the trucks, equipment, trailers, hand tools. It's not the best way to keep up with everything, but it's quick. You know, we keep the VIN numbers, years, what we call the actual truck, filters, last service dates, any problems that the truck's currently having. Someone comes in for the day, they'll write down whatever problem the truck is having at the time. The mechanic will know. He'll be able to pull it in next time it's here. The problem is everything that we have leaves every day. So the mechanic doesn't have time when the stuff is down. That's why everyone's kind of helping work today while we have a rain day, trying to get some stuff serviced. I just write down things as I drive vehicles and stuff, and kind of help him prioritize what needs to be done. Another thing that we like to do is, you see we have a lot of the clear baskets up there. We need to actually go through and make sure that everything's up to date on that. I know it's not, because several of the things that we've bought we haven't added there, but what we do is, for each truck and machine, it has its own box. It should have any manuals in there, oil filters, fuel filters, stuff like that. So as the truck comes in, you grab the box. It's got everything that you need to service that truck. You make a call. We have stuff delivered. You put it back in the box and put it on the shelf. So if we have a down day like today, and you know, you need a fuel filter, it takes 2 or 3 days to get. It's already here. You take advantage of the time of the downtime on the truck. So if it takes 2 or 3 days to get, you put it back on the shelf. When it gets here, you put it back in the box for the next service. All right, this room is an absolute wreck right now. This is where kind of all the laborers and the construction guys will come in, store additional hand tools that they don't use every single day, or miscellaneous materials. This room is a wreck because when we were pumping the water out of the pond, Vince doesn't know obviously what a 2-inch pump looks like. So he came in here, pulled everything off the shelves looking for the pump, and it was sitting right here on the floor the whole time. So it needed to be done anyways. We pulled everything off here. We need to remove everything that we don't use, and kind of reorganize so we can quickly get to what we need. The other room's just a storage room. We are actually going to redesign all this in the next few days. This is some of our plumbing stuff. We have a box set up here for septic installs.
It has a bunch of our 3-inch fit-ins, burn codes, septic stuff, 2-inch pump stuff. It's supposed to have all the hole saw bits for drilling plastic tanks, for drilling D-boxes, infiltrator caps. I don't know where those are at. Probably in Ethan or Vince's truck out there, so we need to get those in here. But then we have 1-inch, 3/4 inch, 4-inch fit-ins, metal fit-ins. We're actually about to redo this, so we have an entire wall. Obviously, you know, over time you collect more and more stuff, so we need to get bigger bins, label them correctly, so you can quickly come in here and get what you need and get out. Vince, since he's worked here for just a few months now, has already lost 2 trailers off this truck. The other day he lost the pressure washer trailer, and it fucking hammered our new toolbox here. Right, Vince?
Right.
Damn, dude, not only is it bent, but the fucking hinge is broke on the other side.
This is too small.
Can't have nothing nice around here.
It's too small. Look at this thing. The fuck's that gonna hold?
No, let's send it back. This is why Vince has lost all the trailers.
Yeah, that thing's fucked up.
No,
it's
really,
it's not my fault.
Don't bash Jenny because Vince doesn't know how to lock a trailer. It actually looks like it's rusted on there.
Well, I could probably snap this on my hand. It moves. Think that guy can make weld it, buddy?
Dustin. Yeah. Okay, this is a space that we were renting out to someone. And when they moved out in January, we kind of just moved some stuff into here so that basically just spot that I could pull some personal stuff in and work on. I'm extremely OCD and I cannot work out in that shop out there with it always being a mess. So we're trying to set this up in here so that if I need to work on something quickly, I can pull it in here, got all my tools set up. I've got an office space set up there with some whiteboards, my computer. I can kind of work out here by myself and put some stuff together for estimates, some house plan stuff. We are about to start on a development, and I've got all my plans up there for that. Maybe one day when Vince is ready to step up to the plate, he can work shoulder to shoulder with me up there. Right now he has to work up in the office with the girls. What are you looking at? Pretty dope, right? The fridge we bought for one of the apartments up front, and they didn't want the fridge in there, so I brought it out here. The flat screen came from the gym. No one uses it as much, so we put it out here. And then during the freezing cold temps a couple weeks ago, I actually had the extra heater. It's not plumbed up yet, but the mini split was having trouble keeping up, so I put the heater in here. The couch has been floating around here forever. The table's been floating around here forever. I don't mountain bike regularly, but I wanted to pin a couple things on the calendar this year for physical fitness. One of the things I pinned on the calendar, I haven't rode that bike actually, I think in like 2 years, and there's a local race in Old Fort called the Jordan Challenge. It's like a 28-mile from Old Fort up to Ridgecrest and back down through the woods. I went ahead and signed up for that, signed up for 2 half marathons, and I'm gonna try to run a full off-road series with the bike this year too. So just trying to keep fitness top of mind, and if I pin things on the calendar, I'll end up doing them, and if I think, well, I'll just get to it, I don't. So it's a way of forcing myself to do something. This year I'm going to run the North Carolina Hare Scramble Association. I ran it for several years, long time ago when I first started racing. A couple of my buddies own some of the tracks that they race. Of course, I want to help, support those guys. We've run pretty much everything in the Southeast that you can think of as far as series goes, and the GNCC series, which their first race is going to be this weekend. We didn't have any time to train for any of that to get started that early. The North Carolina series actually starts in a few weeks, so that gives us some time to get on the bike and loosen our arms up and not get arm pumped. So that's another reason we decided to race that. We raced, obviously you guys know, side by sides for the last couple of years, but we want to get back to the dirt bikes until they figure out the new Can-Am and stuff, and then we may run back out there with those guys. But we're going to try to run a full series for points this year and to see where we land back on the bike, and then maybe next year we play with the Can-Am again. Another reason for pulling some of the machines back here is Kim Coley at Coley's Graphics. has got us some stickers made to badge the new 308 and the 317. So we'll get them cleaned up, walk them over here inside, and get these stickers on them. This is actually some old Can-Am stickers, but we have large JCP logos that we're going to replace the cat logo on the back of each machine. And then we got stickers for the boom of each machine. This one is really long for the 317. This is a available space to rent. All right, this is our on-site gym. It's pretty dark in here, but we like to keep it dark. We've got all the walls painted black, got black light paint everywhere, lots of black lights, so when it's at night, it's actually pretty dope in here. We've got a leg station over there, squat rack to be able to do whatever you want in there, kind of an open area to be able to work out. Multiplex here to be able to do cable crossovers and stuff. Bench. Our cold plunge that I need to figure out what's going on with it because Nikki says it's got a leak. So we'll check that out. They don't know why it's leaking. Yeah, so we got the cold plunge set up and the sauna set up. We like to go back and forth. We start in the sauna, get super hot, cool off in the plunge, and back and forth as many cycles as you want to do. We built this sauna ourselves, so it's a large, I don't know, 6-8 person sauna, but we typically just come in here and spread out. But we've also got it set up so it can basically get as hot as you possibly want it to get. We got to get this ad machine put back together. We actually rented this space out to some folks for a little while. They did not want the ad machine, so we moved the ad machine out, just moved it back in. Got a water fountain set up over there. That's the gym. All right, this is just a shop tour today. The video is not going to actually consist of any outside work because it's a couple nasty days of rain, and we're just taking the week to kind of get caught up, service everything, take advantage of a little bit of downtime because we never get that. The machines literally stay out 24/7. They never get the time they need, and we don't want to neglect, especially the new equipment. We want to service everything so that when we are going back out in the field Monday, everything's 100% ready to go.